everybody. Welcome to interview number 3 as part of the COVID STEM Educator interview series. Today I've got with me Dr. Scott Rayburg, and I've also got Associate Professor Boris Eisenbart. So welcome Scott and Boris. I'm here today because I want to talk to you guys about your first year engineering unit, and that is Engineering, Design and Innovation. It's quite a large engineering unit. It's got over 350 students, but the check-in results are really positive for this unit, which is fantastic to see. And I particularly wanted to interview you too, because you are team teaching this unit, and that's quite different to most of our other units. So I thought, Boris, could you tell me a little bit about how you team teach this unit?
Sure, certainly. There's a few things we do. The first couple of weeks to 4 weeks, we're really trying to give an integrated lecturing series. We really address what is this process, how we're going to tackle it from both sides. Scott and I both come into class. We've got guest speakers also who talk about humanitarian engineering. Then we move it slightly, so it's usually 3 blocks. We then, in the second block, we move more to the designs part, where we look into ideation and coming up with really good ideas. And then the assignments are go along with that. So first it's a bit more general, both sides contribute. Then it's more design oriented, where we look into ideation, coming up with ideas. And then at the end, the final block of the unit is more on engineering and how to nut it all out and get the little details right. And then my team, the design team, are contributing to Scott's team, who are more on engineering. So all up, we're trying to really integrate right from the first week to the final week, and then switch contents as it suits also for the different teams.
I think that was a key word you said there, integrate. Because normally, team teaching is like, oh, you do the first 6 weeks and I'll do the last 6 weeks, and never the two shall meet, Whereas you guys have really designed it as a fully integrated course. So I think that's a really key positive thing that you're doing for the student experience. Scott, I'm going to direct the next question to you. Sure. Because one of the areas that the students have indicated that's come through the check-in survey is that they feel really supported in this time of disruption. And I was really curious to find out, what are you guys doing to support your first year students?
Yeah, there's a whole range of things, and I'll just cover a few of them. I'll talk about 2 categories of things that we do. And the first one is a really university-focused one. The second one's a student-focused one. So we've got Studiosity. For those of you who have heard about Studiosity, it's an online 24/7 question and answer bank that Swinburne has introduced this year, and we've had that embedded in the unit right from week 1. We put our hand up to be one of the pilots for that program. We've got a unit-specific study group that's been running for this unit now for about 3 or 4 years. So again, we were one of the pilots for taking study groups from general to specific. And right now in the COVID world, we had a week or 2 where we missed study group, but now we're running them as a Collaborate Ultra session live from within the unit. And students come and they spend the entire 2 hours in those sessions. It's been really good. And the last one we've been doing for a long time, in fact, we won a teaching award on this a while back, was we embed LAS into the unit. So we feel that LAS skills are really valuable to students. We want them to know who LAS are and to use their services. So we offer students extra credit to go to LAS workshops and to really get some LAS feedback. So I think we had 63 instances of students going to LAS workshops so far this term, and there's still some workshops to come. So students do engage in that. The second side is our student focus. And these are things that we're doing, I think, that are quite unique to the unit. So the first one is we've got what we call student representatives. Each tutorial block nominates one person from the class to be their student rep, and those students are invited to come along to our weekly staff meetings. So they're there, and Boris and I and the rest of the team are talking about what happened last week, what's going to come this week, what are the problems that arose, and how we come up with the solutions. There's students in that room, and they give us really unique insight to things that we might have missed. So we're asking them always their opinion, what they think, and we're then able to quickly respond to those issues that arise, and it makes us a better team. Those students then also blog back to the students, so all the students know what we're talking about in those meetings, and it's like a peek behind the curtain. This semester only, we introduced a policy of student volunteers. And those student volunteers, we've got 4 people to nominate, and what they do is we meet once a week for half an hour, and it's a question and answer video session that we video and upload into Canvas, and they can just ask us anything. And the third and last one, we've been doing this for quite some time as well. It's the innovation that came in right when we started this unit. Is student tutors. So high achieving students in previous years, particularly as well ones that have been student reps, we invite them back and we employ them in the unit to be tutors. And they bring a really unique insight. They're a huge part of our retention strategy. Students really respond positively to them because it's not just some high-level person they might be intimidated to talk to. It's just another student who might be a second or third year student.
I have another question, but I'm going to direct it to Boris this time.
Yes,
Boris, one of the scores in the check-in survey for your unit showed that your online resources that you provide to students was really highly valued and regarded. And I was just wondering what sort of online resources you make available to your first-year engineers.
Maybe 18 months ago, we actually applied for a small grant to improve learning and teaching in this unit, and we were lucky enough to win it. And we used that money to produce a series of videos which introduce, I guess, fundamentals of university to students, as well as weekly content that we're actually covering in the unit. It's something just above 50 in total of videos, and I think we've had over 2,000 clicks or so in one semester. So people actually really engage in it, and it helps them developing the content that are also that's relevant for the assignments. So there's extra support that then frees up time for our tutors to actually engage more closely with them. And they don't have to generally explain things again and again, because they can just say, check out the video, we've actually explained this step by step. So I have time now to focus on more individual stuff. So it's a really, really good support.
Oh, that's really good. Look, we're nearly coming to the end of our interview, but before I finish, do you guys have any tips that you would recommend to other academics that are teaching their, large first-year units?
Yeah, I've got one, Angela. It was a few weeks back now, you sent around an email that I thought was really great. It had this PhD, one of the few who had done a PhD in sort of the online learning space, and it's Dawn Gilmore, and she wrote, I think, 14 tips about how to adapt to the online environment. And I was really pleased to see we were doing a lot of those things already, but one tip really stood out for me, which was tip 5, which said, have a look at your LMS and see which students haven't logged in for a while, because in your online space, the only way someone's engaging is through the LMS. So if they're not there, they're nowhere. And so I had a look, and we decided on a threshold of about 10 days, and I sent messages out to all the students who hadn't logged on in about 10 days, and it was 16 students, and 8 of them responded within 2 hours to say, thank you so much for reaching out. I hadn't realized that maybe I was causing a problem. I had this thing happen in my life, and I'm going to get back into it, and this won't happen again. So they were really apologetic, but also very appreciative of reaching out. And then the 8 that did respond, they've never again dropped back off. They all re-engaged with the unit and have stayed that way.
Right, fantastic. Boris, did you have any tips?
I think that's a really good one, just the engagement. And obviously we need to still keep the quality high and the standard high in education, but then also have an open ear to, okay, this guy actually, or this girl for that matter, really suffered at the moment and didn't have the time to work on something. And just be a bit flexible in that and give extensions as within reason, of course, where it makes sense.
Well, I just wanted to thank you both for giving up your Friday afternoon. I couldn't have thought of a better way to spend my Friday afternoon than to talk to 2 of our bright, energetic, fun first-year academics. I hope you have a great weekend. And I hope you guys learned something from our interview series from other academics as well. So all the best. Thank you for sharing all your tips.
Thank you again, Angela.